To be fair. Hello, everyone. I am the oldest man in Brad. Oldest man in Brad. I don't even know what's happening right now.
Sounds like a good time.
I'm just old. I'm not. I'm the oldest and the youngest man in Brad. I'm the oldest man at 40K. Redo that. Hello, everyone. I have the Kyle Trout. We've got Brandon Valley, and we're going to talk Chaosy things. Brandon's going to occasionally pipe up, but mostly it's going to be me yelling things randomly and seeing whether or not Kyle disagrees with me. I might actually poke him occasionally if he says something's good. I might tell him he's dumb just because I like to do that. Let's start with demons. I was going to start with other things, but Kyle told me that if we didn't start with demons, he was going to punch me, and I got scared, so we're now starting with demons.
It's because the tattoos, they intimidate you, right, Brad?
True. It's the tattoos and the beard.
I'm also 6'4".
That means nothing to me.
Oh yeah, because you're 6'5". I forget all the time.
Yeah.
Is that two Brads stuck together? 6'4"?
It's two Brads in a trench coat. Let's do stuff. First off, let's talk about the Draught of Terror. It's a delicious beverage.
Yeah, this is a really good strat, but read it out and we'll talk about
Well, it's at the end of the phase. You improve the armor characteristic of weapons equipped by models unit by 1. In addition, until the end of the phase, each time such a weapon targets a unit that is battle shocked, you can reroll the wound. And you're going to have a lot of people that are battle shocked because, well, your whole army kind of does that.
Yep. I mean, the most of chaos or the demons are built on battle shocking people, so you can kind of wombo this and wombo combo this and get close to people using your denizens ability and then battle shock them, have them be battle shocked, flame the shit out of them, and then re-roll the wounds.
Well, let's talk about that denizens because you just did a combo from the other strat that's right underneath it, where you can actually deep strike 3 inches away from someone. Can't charge, but you can shoot them right in the face. And couple that with the delicious Draught of Terror, which now comes in pumpkin spice latte.
So which one will take precedence? Infiltrators or Denizens of the Warp?
Currently, right now, Infiltrators override. In the current 9th edition fact, we don't know about right now. But in 9th edition, Infiltrators override this. But there's a couple people that can do 3 inches on this. This is going to be really big. I like this co-op. The corrupt rail space, strong. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I thought we were talking about the realm. I thought we were moving to the realm of chaos. The corrupt real space is pretty good, but everyone has the sticky objectives.
Yeah. Warp Surge is nice. Advance and charge. And then we've got the realm of chaos. This is boss mode, by the way. Redeploy is always amazing. Remove targeted units from the battlefield and place them in a strat reserve. It's awesome.
Well, there is a stipulation that you have to be within your shadow of chaos to pick them up. Yeah, which you should be.
I was to say, if you're not pushing your shadow of chaos, you're getting wrecked right now. It's big. That's compared to 3-year-olds. You guys are mean about my deceptive tallness.
You're welcome, Brad. So do demons have any way to generate command points in addition to like what they normally generate? Because you start off with 0 command points.
Yeah, there's a couple people down here.
Yeah. We'll shoot into those. How about the enhancements? Enhance. I actually like the Nurgle one, which is just Feel No Pain 5 up, 4 up if you're in your Shadow of Chaos. 4 up Feel No Pain's nothing to screw around with.
It's pretty strong.
The Soul Stealer seems meh. Yeah, like I might get a wound back every time I destroy a unit. I thought that they jacked Argath just a little bit. I like the unmodifiable way it was before. You do get a an attack and a strength, or 2 if you're within Shadows of Chaos. It's not bad, but I don't know if I would spend it because we have such limited stuff. Let's talk about my boy Scarbrand. You know, the dude that Zinch convinced to attack Khorne? So if you don't know, again, lore. I just got done doing a lore video. Khorne legitimately picked up Scarbrand after he put a nick in his foot, basically, and threw him. And for 8 days, he flew through the warp and ripped off his wings. I hate when that happens.
Everyone hates being thrown for 8 straight days.
So fast that your wings rip off. Yeah, exactly.
Not 7 days, not 9 days, but 8 days.
We're gonna talk about this a little bit at the end, but yes, Michael goes, forfeit or paid. Oh no, I only do 30 mortal wounds now. He's a boss now, and he's actually better than he used to be because he used to buff everyone, friend and foe. So the fact that he's just giving out +1 attack on all your Khorne stuff, except for monsters and vehicles, which is kind of lame, but I do like the murder lust, because you have to take a leadership check or you have to stay there, which is his ability now. He's also not screwing around with 16 strength 8 attacks.
Yeah.
I mean, he's good. I heard he's good.
With a flat 6 damage.
Well, it's whoa. Only 8 attacks with the flat 6 damage. 16 attacks with the
that's
2 damage.
Sweet. My bad.
But
interestingly, for Scarbrand, he lost I guess you don't need psychic protection much now, but he historically has hated psychic a lot. Now he has nothing on his sheet that says he hates psychic, so we're just going to assume he loves it now.
He loves the psychic. So he's rocking. We got the Thirster. Thirster's rolling. I mean, this dude's not screwing around either. 14 attacks, strength 10, AP2, 2 damage with the Great Axe sweep. That's significant. I love the multi-damage sweeps. Those are so good. Yes, he could definitely use devastating wounds. We all know how I feel about that. He's got a decent amount of shooting, too. The fact that the lash is 6 attacks, strength 8, 2 damage, that's not fucking around. You know what I mean? That's legit. So this dude's legit too. He's given +1 to hit on everybody. I like that a lot. I think we're going to see the points at the end of the week here, but I think he's legit. I wish Skull Taker was slightly better because I love this dude and his fluff. But he's got devastating wounds, and he adds them to whatever unit he joins, and he gets a CP every time he kills a character, which is hard to do. And if you didn't want to know where he goes in Bloodletters or Bloodletters.
So I actually think he's cracked. So, okay.
Yeah,
we don't know the points. Depending on the points.
Yes. Well, him joining a unit of Bloodletters and giving him devastating wounds with rerolls is bonkers town.
He also has built-in precision, so he can character snipe.
True.
His attacks are pretty strong.
Yeah, he's not, he's probably, to be fair, if you're playing Khorne and you're playing a unit of Bloodletters, as long as his points aren't insane, I think he's an auto take, to be honest with you.
He's extremely good. His stats are really good, and the ability to give devastating wounds to your Bloodletters, and then you have now the availability to advance and charge them, so they can just sprint across the board and get to somebody.
Well, I mean, you can put him in deep strike. You got to figure that, again, we're making 6-inch charges on this. So
yeah,
I just think that dude's, if you're bringing a big Bloodletter bomb, there's no reason not to put him in. I think he's an auto in that.
Brad, I'm going to challenge his ability to kill characters. Haven't most characters drop down 1 wound?
Say again?
Haven't most characters drop down 1 wound?
Oh, if he hits a character, he's going to wreck it. I'm just saying that there's limited amounts of people you're going to hit.
I think you can probably kill 2. I mean, it really depends on how many characters people are fielding now.
True, I just think you're going to hit something, then they're going to delete that. I mean, if he gets to hit multiple things, you've won the game. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You're just not letting a unit of Bloodletters just wander about. If him and the unit of Bloodletters are hitting a second unit, the game's over. You know what I mean? Shit went down. Yeah. So.
Oh no, we charged by 1 land speeder.
Yeah. He's still alive. That's no bueno. I do like the gory path because 6-inch consolidate is legit. I don't know that I want double characters in my bloodletters, so the Blood Master is probably not going to be used. I'm going to take Skull Taker, to be honest with you. Shot, 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 shot. Everybody. Skull Master. Devastating wounds on... It's only on the bladed horns. So we'll look at the Juggernaut attacks because those are the extra attacks. So the Rider's attacks do not get devastating wounds, just the bladed horn attacks. But they do have lance, which is cool too. I think
But they get devastating charge.
Right. That's also good. I like him, and I like the Juggernauts quite a bit, just because it's just a huge volume of attacks. Oh, I mean the Nuggets did crush last night, KR. So I also won that bet. You could barely get a bet on that. The Renmaster on the Blood Throne. I actually think this looks like super sick, so I want this to be good because this model looks sick.
Bad news. It's not.
I know. Yeah, I mean, he's got a cool... The Blood Throne is a cool thing, though, because he just buffs somebody up to have better AP, better damage, better strength. I mean, that's not bad. It's been such points. Somebody take a shot.
Shot.
I mean, this dude buffing that is pretty big. It's basically you put it on one enemy unit. You know what I mean? So if this dude's cheap, I would take him all day long. Because everybody attacking that unit gets +1 AP, +1 damage, +1 strength, and an attack.
Who can he join? Is he joinable? Is he his own little guy?
by himself.
He's by himself.
Okay.
He's
I mean,
on the chariot.
Is okay.
I mean, the rule is awesome. You just go, hey man, those dudes are getting messed, because it's everybody. It's basically an Oath of Moment type thing, because you put it on someone and then everybody that's demons gets that. I mean, that's
who are you putting it's only Khorne demon. So what Khorne demon are you winning more with in that scenario?
I'll just slam that and then just attack with bloodletters and shit. Having them with extra attacks seems good, especially if I want devastating wounds. Bro, just accept that it's good and move on with your life.
Okay. It's good. I like it.
Hey, it's mounted, guys. So means you don't benefit from anti-vehicle, anti-monster, anti-infantry. Got this.
Karnak. I wish Karnak was slightly better because he has cool fluff. If he's super cheap, I would take him, but there's no more denies or anything. So, like, one of the main things that he did is kind of not there anymore. But he does basically get lethal hits for a unit, and he obviously joins Fleshhounds. Let's talk about these Bloodletters, though. This is why I think that Blood Throne is pretty sweet, because these dudes only have 2 attacks. So, like, I just need more. Because I want devastating wounds. I want the slam down. They've got a good strength 5, AP 2, 2 damage. It's a multi-damage weapon, so it means when they do mortals from Uncle Skull Taker, they're doing 2 mortals apiece, but they don't have a volume. So, like, I think you need to buff that up. Those are rookie numbers, yo. You need to buff that up.
Well, the Blood Throne doesn't also increase the damage too.
Yep. Increases damage, so you'd be doing 3 mortals apiece when they buff something up and they hit it with bloodletters.
I just don't see how they get there.
Deep strike.
How do these? So
6-inch charge. 6-inch charges.
Yeah, I mean the main.
Well, it's not even 6-inch charges. You're gonna have an instrument. You're gonna be 5-inch charges because it's +1.
It's not a unit that you're starting on the board and just walking towards somebody. This is somebody you're putting in the warp and dropping next.
Come on now.
I believe in them.
Desolator breeds exist. These guys would be like, hey guys, how's it going? And they're gone.
Back to the warp.
Yep. So, yeah, you're deep striking these guys. You're not just hoping for the best. Have you seen the amount of indirect is out there right now? And I heard indirect is good. Bloodletters need the buff, though. Blood Crushers, however, I like these bros. Extra attacks, lance, the +1 to wound. They do mortals on the charge. They, again, +1 to charge with the instrument. The fact that the jug gives you 4 extra attacks at strength 6, AP 1, 1 damage. Again, the Blood Throne helps that out. That Kyle guy doesn't know what he's talking about. By the way, the throne's totally going to cost like 1,000,000 points, and you're going to be like, "This thing's trash, Brad."
But if it's like 80-ish points, then like it's pretty good, right?
Yeah,
If it's over 80, it's just garbage.
Yeah, if it has 3 digits on its cost, I'm not going to take it. Yeah, I like that. And Micah goes, "It's fine to have them walk up. I'm only going to take a couple desolators. A couple desolators killed them. They have 1 wound and a shitty save."
So our blood crusher is good. Like looking at them, they seem good, right? Like first glance. But again, everything.
It's cost.
The caveat for the last 2 weeks is depending on points, everyone take a shot, and then
shot. But
like
it is what it is. It's just if these guys are cheap, they're amazing. Again, well, Brandon pointed out, and we've been talking about it. The fact that the mounted keyword hasn't had any anything makes me think that mounted might be an actual good keyword for a change in moving things in. So I like these guys, depending on the cost, of course. Flesh Hounds, fast. They do stuff. Bleh. I'm just moving on.
Comparatively to current Flesh Hounds, they're pretty underwhelming.
Yep. Skull Cannon. This actually has a shit ton of attacks. If this was indirect, it'd be nuts. However, it does not. However, it does cause battle shock tests. Also, I do like the fact that because it's corn, it's the piece of artillery actually punches pretty damn hard. Like, what happened? I tried to take down that artillery crew. I got my ass kicked, man.
The bicycle bit me.
Yeah, I'm having flashbacks to Adepticon this year.
Yeah, the Skull Altar. I have one of these, by the way.
This is a real thing. Like
this is an Age of Sigmar model. It's in the wrong book.
Yep. What do you think about this, Kyle?
Wait, infiltrator keyword? What?
Yes. Because you got to set it up basically anywhere. And I'm not, depending on what this is, the points cost on, I know that we got it, but like, it's considered, everything within 6 inches of this is considered within the Shadows of Chaos, and it just blocks line of sight. The stairs and that big thing are all solid. So this is like actually nice to block line of sight. And it blocks a kind of a lot of line of sight. We have this over at Sparks' house.
Yeah, interestingly enough, I think this is kind of a cool model. It's T12. It has 10 wounds. It can set up the ability to deep strike in near it if it's providing Shadows of the Warp. I think it's strangely good, but again, depending on points cost, we'll see what it can actually do.
Yeah.
Michael pointed out, what exactly is the last bullet point?
Models in that unit. Okay, so it's kind of weird on it. Models in that unit so not need to take this route. Fuck off.
That's not a typo. You just got to read it quickly so it makes sense.
I'm scrolling past it. It hurt my brain.
You could just leave combat without taking a battle shock.
If it was written in actual English, yes.
No, you shall not leave combat.
You shall not.
Thou shall not. Let's talk about.
That made my brain explode.
Let's talk about Kairos. Let's talk about the fact that also Tzeentch was the ultimate dick when he basically went, "Hey, this portal leads to all knowledge everywhere, but it might kill you," and then he dunked Kairos' head into that thing, and then pulled him out. And went, "Hey, man, what happened?" It's like
I saw it backwards and forwards.
Yes, some shit happened, dude. Also, dick move, man.
Before we move on to Tzeentch, let's just talk about the viability of Khorne real quick. Like overall, what do you think about them? What you've seen? Like they do what they do. They hit hard.
It's unfortunately, and everybody's going to take a shot on that. If they're cheap, they're going to be awesome. If they're not, they just need the numbers to get there and then do damage.
I think they're a little lackluster, honestly. Like there are some things that you're going to take just because of how hard it can hit, but most everything outside of like the Skull Taker and the Bloodletters and maybe the Bloodthirster seem pretty weak. I'm not even really considering, again, depending on points, I'm not even considering Blood Crushers to even be worth talking about because of some of the other things that we're seeing later.
Sorry, I have to agree that they're bad because Eric goes 0 of 10. They are red for communists. I do love the fact that Fady is effectively getting you 2 CP because you have to roll if you more than the battle round for 1 CP once a game, and then less than the battle round for 1 CP once a game. I think that's pretty cool. He's got a shit ton of psychic shots with pretty big strength. The fact that it's all random damage, I guess, is very fluffy because of the randomness of Zinch. So, but
Did you see it's indirect fire, Brad?
Yep. It's
Blast, indirect fire, hazardous.
Yeah.
Bless you.
But strike 90. Screw you outside. Goddamn planet trying to kill me. The Lord of Change is better than Fady. There, I said it.
Let's talk about it, because this is something that was brought up a couple streams ago, where Lyle brought up that I called him when this stuff was like spoiled on the stream, the GW stream, and I was like, okay, competitively, is one head looks forward or one head look back, whatever the one is that increases your opponent's strats CP by 1, is that like good enough to take? You have the indirect fire on Infernal Gateway, which is really cool for like lobbing in some big damage, but if you could make like your insane bravery equivalent or your reroll, command reroll 2 every turn, you're gonna like you're blocking people on doing a lot.
Yeah, it's just this guy is just such a buffer. He's adding +1 to the strength of all your Zinch stuff within 6 inches. And he's also like just choosing whether he gets ignore cover, lethal hits, or sustained hits D3. You can have exploding 6s for triple exploding 6s. You've got 9 shots also from his psychic, you know what I mean? The bolt of change. And also, can you fire both of those? Can I fire Rod of Sorcery and the bolt of change?
Yes.
So that's 15 attacks, man. You know what I mean? That I could do literally triple exploding 6s on.
And you basically, you're more often than not, you're taking the sustained hits, right? Because 9 dice turns to 12 to 15 dice all the time.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But like, this dude's just got a volume of attacks. Plus, he's adding +1 to the strength of all your flamers, your bolt, you know, whatever. Yeah, I mean, I just think this guy's a better multiplier, to be honest with you. So
I agree with Brad. I'd rather take the Lord of Change because it supports the entire army. I mean, if you're taking Zinch, you're taking a lot of horrors, you're taking a lot of flamers, you're taking the screamers. Just make their attacks better.
Are you taking screamers? Wait till we get there.
Yes.
all right, let's go down. Let's talk the changeling. I like the fact that this dude just straight up makes people take battle shock test, and if they fail, they can't charge. That's actually badass.
And he also stops you from shooting.
Yes.
6.
Yep. Again, hold on. Get ready for the shot. It's going to depend on the points. But like, he's a very tech piece, I think. If he's cheap, I'm definitely putting him in because he can just do nonsense. You give your opponent an unlucky turn where he fails a battle shock test and they can't shoot. So like, you just shut down a couple units. Now, it's not a great chance, but it's a decent enough chance where it can really adjust how your opponent plays. And I like that quite a bit. He's an epic.
Brad, are you actually taking this guy? And the reason why I ask is he's a lone operative. He doesn't join anything. And if he's within 12, he's probably dead.
Lone operator's nice. Nice. Because I'm going to make him not shoot the first.
3 with 5 wounds. He's going to die immediately.
He has stealth.
He's going to die immediately.
Cool. You're not shooting other important things. Like
Don't shoot this guy in the face just because.
Depending on points, right? Like he's a tiny distraction piece that's going to really hinder you if you getting his formless horror, mischief, and confusion up.
You know, the fate. I'm going to go down. The fate skimmer would be awesome if it didn't say melee weapons. It said shooting attacks. Because how often are you punching with your little guys? Not often is the answer.
Well, with
your screamers, no.
Yeah, I mean, he joined He'll only join screamers too. So meh. Fluxmaster. Meh. I like the fact that
Terrible.
maybe he's 10 points. Then he'd be awesome. The Blue Scribes. Love these guys. I mean, fluff-wise, I love these guys. -1 to wound. You have to be too close. It's 12 inches. A lot of these things are just where I don't want to be. Brandon had a point on that. I don't want to be 12 inches away from you. Changecaster. Decent. They get exploding sixes. Choose battle shock test. He can only get in horror units. Not bad. I do like the horror units. Blue horrors seem legit. It's kind of a lot of shots. If you got a big unit of them, they used to have 3. Now it's just 2. The strength on it really surprised me at that. Down to 3. It's +1 if you're next to the Lord of Change, of course. But let's go to pink horse. Effectively the same thing. I really don't know why I'd ever want to add an instrument to these guys to be +1 to charge. Pink horrors of corn, maybe?
No. They're straight now. They're not good.
I'm surprised they don't have more attacks. They used to have 3 apiece. This is the lower volume with a lower strength. So, I don't know how I feel about that. Flamers. Oh, look what they did to my boy. Look what they did to my boy. They are available to shoot now when they fall back, so you can't just touch them. But they are now strength 4, AP 1, 1 damage, D6 attacks instead of D6 +3. So, significant loss to that. They also only move 9 now instead of 12.
I think this unit's really annoying if you're playing against Eldar.
I
Yes.
still think they're very good.
This is a very solid unit. I would take this unit if I had something like this in Space Marines.
Still strong. The Exalted Flamer still shooting at you with a badass las cannon. Strength 9, AP 3, 3 damage, 3 attacks. He's legit.
It really buffs flamers. He honestly is good with flamers. You should be running.
Yeah. I like this dude quite a bit. I like the fact that he can also make you -2 to your move, -2 to advance and charges.
And he gives all your flamers assault, which they weren't already. They were ignore cover, psychic torrent, and then they become assault.
True. Screamers.
You could get faster.
Kyle's favorite unit.
They are super fast though. 14-inch movement.
And they do mortals again. They do flyover attacks like they used to. Their attacks are actually better than they used to be. They're strength 6, AP 2, 2 damage.
What are they currently? Strength 5, AP 2, 2 damage?
Yeah, I think they're strength 5.
They have Malefic. So, they're okay.
Brad doesn't know anything. I'm listening to the best demon player in the world. The guy's the best.
I mean, these guys move faster than regular Space Marine bikes now.
Indeed. Burning Chariot. Also legit. Shit ton of attacks. I mean, a shit ton of attacks. 12 attacks. 2 damage on half. 1 damage on the other half. Plus the flamer. I mean, and obviously the last cannon. Whew. That's legit. This is the best unit I've seen so far. Burning Chariot for the win. You heard it. Kyle Treas said it was the best unit in the Codex.
Not even close to the best unit in the Codex. Let's talk about big, old, fatty, gross, nasty.
Rodigus. Rodigus ain't trying to hear that, see? I mean, this dude's a big fatty. 22 wounds, toughness 12, 4 up invuln. Whew.
Pretty good. And his abilities are what I
Plus 1 damage to another unit. That's basically like the thing that we were talking about, the throne. He does part of this just by himself, and he's significantly more resilient than that throne is.
And if you control F search for devastating wounds, well, look, he has it on his little ranged attack, his flamer.
Yep.
Fantastic.
And this dude's legit. I like the fact that his flamer also ignores cover. So AP2, that's a really good stat line. The Great and Clean One, speaking of fatties, This dude's legit also.
Yeah, both of them are really good.
I do like the fact that he's just giving off a feel no pain aura too. That's huge.
And then you can, if you give him the gift, then he would have his 4+ feel no pain.
Yep.
And then the people around him would have a 5 of feel no pain.
Yeah, this is legit. The fact that he gives off that feel no pain aura, huge. Giving off a good feel no pain aura is big deal. Roomy, thick through the hips. Yeah, he's badass.
Well, he could also bring plate bearers back from the death too.
Yeah, he's legit, like super legit. I actually think. I think he's a Mustang.
He's not fat. He's body positive.
He's body positive. he's big boned. 5+ critical hits for everybody around, or sorry, leading a unit, and then subtract 1 for the battle shock test. Legit, but he's fine. He's just a herald. Spoilpox Scrivener. I love everything about this model fluff-wise. I love every one of the Nurgle guys that's just keeping track of how much plague is around. Exploding 6s, always good. Adding +1 to your OC, always good.
Yeah, I mean you can plug this guy into a plague bearer unit,
Yep.
sit around on the whatever objective you want to hold with a great unclean one, and just hold it for days.
Yeah, with them getting a 5 of feel no pain, plus the fact that they're OC a lot. I love the fact that he's equipped with disgusting sneezes. Come on now. How are you not taking somebody that's rolling disgusting sneezes? The Tallyman, Epidemius. 4-up invuln. That unit, the whole unit has a 4-up invuln. And the fact that he basically gets you a CP every time you roll a 7-up, legit.
So there's one of your CP generators,
Yep.
Brandon.
So
I mean, you have to take them. Like,
I don't think he's very good, but he can do it.
also,
He does it.
if you're going for awesomeness in a Nurgle army, though, if you're not taking Sloppity Bile Piper, come on, what are you thinking to yourself? I don't even think he's good. I actually think he's actually really bad, but I just like saying Sloppity Bile Piper. I mean, come on. He is +1 to move, +1 advance, or sorry, +1 to move and re-roll advances. So, but oh man, do they not name his guy anymore? Horticulus Slimex. What's his snail's name though? I forget. They don't name him here. Oh, that makes me sad.
idea. This guy's actually good.
Well, the fact that the fact that is that he ought to. This is a big deal because this is his ability though. If you guys missed this, at the end of your movement phase, if this model is within an area terrain feature until the end of the battle, that area terrain feature is considered to be within your army's Shadow of Chaos. Like no restrictions on it. You can just run up and touch something. That's amazing. I mean, once it's there, it's just there. That's a big deal, man. Especially bigger terrain features. You can go up and touch like a giant ruin or something in your opponent's deployment zone.
Yep.
I love that. That was my nickname in college. I'm telling you everything, brother. We're telling you everything. I think he's super legit, though.
Now, he's not doing a ton for the Beasts of Nurgle, but the ability, it's just the Seed the Garden of Nurgle.
Yeah, 100%.
If you can just go touch a terrain feature, make it Shadows of the Warp, and then or Shadows of Chaos or whatever, and then start dropping in people in safety is really good.
Plague Bears being OC3 when you join up with Big Broham, and the fact that they have sticky objectives, these guys are legit. 2 wounds apiece. You're going to give them, slap them on that Finno Pain. They're going to have a 4-up invuln when he's there. These guys are going to be annoying as shit to take care of. So, I think Plague Bears, great troop. Nurglings, I hate the fact that they no longer have the keyword of untrustworthy. That used to be my favorite. Nurglings are fine. They are what they are. They
still infiltrate.
I would say they still infiltrate, which is a big deal. Beasts of Nurgle, otherwise known as guys that are looking to have fun with you. They just want to play. This grotesque regeneration is still just a great rule. At the end of any phase, if a Beast of Nurgle model has lost any wounds but is not destroyed, it's just back to full health. And they got 7 wounds apiece. And if they're rolling around with the Great Unclean One, they're getting a 5 up Feel No Pain. That seems annoying. You're going to have some turns where nothing dies.
Couldn't it be taken in larger units now?
They can be taken in 1 to 2 smaller units.
Well, what about like now in 9th edition?
1 to 3.
Yeah, let's say 1 to 3.
Okay.
Plague drones, one of my favorite models in the game because it looks gross as shit. They got a little nerf because their attacks, they got very low attacks. So, meh. I wish that they had a little bit more volume. I don't think that I'm going to take these guys for that. So, maybe they are T8, which is pretty significant. I do think
it's the fastest moving thing in this army so far.
Yeah. Markets are all Nurgle Demon army going to be viable? I think it is actually, because you could really take the board. You can take a fairly boring army and hold the board pretty strongly with them, especially with the Feel No Pains and the OC3. Let's talk about the Garden of Nurgle, the Feculent Gnarl Maw. What do you think about this, Kyle?
I actually don't know what to think about it. It has some interesting rules, but it's kind of like the whatever Corns thing was called. Like, I just don't know if you want to drop this in somewhere, give the Shadows of the Warp, give some cover to things like.
It's just the fact that it can be killed now is a big deal. You know what I mean? It used to just be a piece of terrain. If it was just a piece of terrain, I'd say this is an auto. Also, I want to make sure that I can still read the bottom. Models in that unit so not need to take desperate escape tests. Fuck me, man.
All right, Nurgle looks pretty good.
Agreed.
It looks like it's back to what it's supposed to be, which is just impossible to remove. We're generating little dudes around the big dudes and just holding something. In a dream world where, like, you know, a Great Unclean One is sub 250 points. Like, if he is below 250, then
that'd be nuts, man.
He's close
to
given
that Feel No Pain or out, huge.
You could bring back what, D3 Plague Bearers turn?
It's just going to be so annoying to take care of them, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't finish that unit off, you're bringing models back.
Yeah. Plus,
two different ways.
Sticky objectives being objective control 3, you know, having a 4-up invo with that. I think Nurgle looks fine. That's true. Lyle does have a good point. Nothing is impossible removing 10th. Speaking of removing people, Shalaxia ain't trying to hear that, see? If you're a monster vehicle or character and Shalaxi hits you, it might be bad times.
You're on her Dunzo list. So this is my actual like vote for best spoiled model currently.
She hauls ass.
And she can advance and charge if you give her the warp speed.
Just comes with a 5-up Feel No Pain also. It's a big deal built in.
She's an epic hero. I don't think she can take enhancements.
Enhance?
Oh, it's a strat.
It's a strat. 1 CP, advance and charge.
Yeah. She's just catching you wherever you are.
But
14-inch movement and then advance and then charge. You're just wherever you are, you're not safe from Shalaxi.
It's just flat 3.
Is this a real model? Like,
yeah.
Joking aside, like this is something that exists currently in the Demon Book.
Yeah.
I love that piece.
It's the Namekeeper.
It's already okay.
Yeah, it's Namekeeper Secrets. But like the fact that you're rerolling all hits, all wounds, and the damage when you're fighting a character, monster, or vehicle, with a strength 14, 6 attacks with that, 4 attacks with a strength 6, either 3 damage or D6 plus 2 damage, and it's precision, so you can just go, hey, that dude's dead. Also, the snapping claws, devastating wounds, you know, that's legit.
So the crazy thing about Shalaxi is that you soul piercer precision, kill whoever's attached to the unit, and then you extra attack snapping claws, devastating wounds, clip the other idiots in there.
Yeah, well, and also the shooting attacks, legit too. You've got 6 plus D6 effectively, you know what I mean, between the Pavane and the Lash. You know, that's the decent amount of shots. Yeah, I mean, yes, 100%, Matt. Precision attacks with that profile is nuts. You're just like, your character is getting rocked. Strength 14, AP 3, D6 plus 2 damage. Also, built-in reroll in your damage. Oh, I rolled a 1. No, I didn't. Boom. You're dead. So, she's badass.
And Cloak of Constriction is also powerful for the times that she gets stuck in.
True. Subtract 1 from the attack characteristics. That's really nice, especially in your units. You know what I mean? So, that's a lot of missed attacks on that. The Keeper's Secrets, also legit. 5 of Final Pain, which you're going to add, I don't know. It's a word gear ability. I'm assuming I'm taking it, period. So, -1 to hit. Everybody around the Keeper is +1 AP, which I think is really good when you're rolling out on that. Shit ton of attacks. The Snapping Claws, Sword, and the Ritual Knife, you just have a million attacks. All Strength 6 and 8, all AP 2, either 2 or 3 damage. Again, super legit. 15 shooting attacks. This is a good model.
Yeah, Keeper of Secrets is good.
Yeah, it's super
They're both
legit.
really good.
And they're super fast. The Infernal Enraptious. I like the fact that he's just got a harp. That shoots at you.
If you look at the harp, it's actually the tendons from a person's back.
I hate when that happens. So it can be led, it can lead a unit of the Daemonettes. It can return D3 back in the command phase. And it screws with enemy psychers. But it's only 12 inches, so pretty much they're not going to be down with that for too long. The mask.
Anything that says claws, by the way, if it just says claws on Slaanesh, it has devastating wounds. Whenever it says claws, it just says devastating wounds as
That's
well.
true. I actually like the Eternal Dance quite a bit. You can choose defensive, -1 to wound, or you can be +1 to wound. And you select one enemy unit within 6 inches, but it's in the fight phase, so you can zoom up first and do that. And then you can basically declare a charge and turn them as you fell back. It's a legit model as long as it doesn't cost $1 million. I like it. Epic Hero. Souls key.
Perfect.
Yep.
Couldn't pronounce it better myself.
I feel like I nailed that, guys. I just nailed it.
What was the name? I didn't hear it.
It's a one time. You're gonna have to rewatch the video. You can see that at the Death or Glory 40k.com .org.net. 5 up critical wounds. I like the first time you can just get back up on a 2, Saint Celestine style. It's legit. As long as it's cheap, I'm taking it. Joins
It also does a lot of buffing for your Daemonettes.
Yep. And what do you think about the Contorted Epitome? 4 up Final Pain against mortal wounds and psychic attacks in your unit. And then you've got the Horrible Fascination psychic ability. So you can do some mortals and make them -to hit. And they're not able to shoot. Now, it's only a 12-inch power, though, but
I think it's pretty good. Daemonettes are fast, so they're just as fast as the Epitome. So you can scoot across the board, get within range, and then start really gumming things up for people.
Tormented on Exalted Seeker Chariot. I would love chariots to be cool because they look cool. It does give exploding 6s to everybody within 6 inches. I love the fact that it has Ravening Claws, 15 attacks that have devastating wounds. You had me at 15 devastating wound attacks. I'm sorry, that explode on 6s. I mean, again, moving 14. This army is up on you with a quickness.
Slush is crazy fast. And then the
Getting
Hysterical
quite
Frenzy. Yep.
Yeah,
The Hysterical Frenzy is really good.
I mean, this seems legit. Maybe even
50
too legit.
I don't know about too legit, but 50% of the time, I mean,
Works
you're
every
getting-
time.
you're getting, 50% of the time it works every time. But you're getting
Every
to fight
time.
back before you're removed.
Yeah. Transweaver, boring, but fine. Daemonettes, the bread and butter. 3 attacks apiece, strength 4, AP 1, 1 damage. They have like a billion buffs though. So if you're basically taking Daemonettes, you're going to want them to be within multiple auras or the people that are getting chosen, for all the buffs, the enemy unit that you choose. But just by themselves, they reroll ones, they reroll all hits if they're within an objective. They're +1 to charge. I mean, with all the buffs, this unit seems meh by itself, but it seems pretty legit when you put all the rest of the buffs on it. You got to figure you're getting +1 AP, +1 strength, +1 attack, and possibly +1 to wound. With all the stacking buffs, these guys are actually super legit and they're fast.
Yeah, but the question is how many things are you going to like tie in to make Demonettes good?
True.
On their own, they're okay, but are you you're trying to attach like?
Well, some of the things aren't even attached. I think most of those buffs are actually aura buffs off your big girls. You know what I mean? So they just kind of happen between the chariot and your keepers and stuff like that. So it just depends on. To be honest with you, your opponent's probably going to just try to pick up your Daemonettes and then move block your big peeps. So. They do, again, wait for it, Claws of Devastating Wounds. What? I don't know. They're still the easiest thing to pick up in the entire army. That being said, take some Fiends. Also, Fiends look like they do weird stuff to you.
They're into some stuff that we can't talk about on the stream.
Yeah. They also get a decent amount of the Slanesh buffs from the auras. They obviously don't get the buffs from the characters we're talking about joining the units, but you're going to get the buffs. You're going to get an extra attack. They are 5 attacks apiece at 2 damage. 2 damage of Devastating Wounds is a big deal because, again, 2 mortals per. So
they got tougher.
Yep.
They got tougher, and they're 2 inches, like not as fast as their current iteration, but still, I think they're pretty good.
I think that the Seekers are actually going to be super strong. Scout 9, reroll advance and charge for this unit. +1 to charge, obviously, with the instrument. But, man, 5 attacks apiece that would just by themselves. They have lethal hits, devastating wounds in their claws. This unit's legit. It gets there with a quickness.
It's a combat turn 1.
Oh, 100%. I mean, they scout 9 and then they move 14 with an advance. So you're moving 23 plus D6. You know what I mean? On turn 1. You're right up in people's faces. If anything, worst case scenario, you just ruin your opponent's movement phase by just being literally tied up with them on turn 1. Whew. Exactly. Matt goes, obligatory less rerolls comment. Yeah. Everything in the universe gets rerolls. Hellflare, Chariot. Crazy amount of attacks. Like, holy shit amount of attacks. Plus they do mortals when they charge. It's not even charge, just selected to fight. But holy god, these do a shit ton of attacks. 9 attacks with the claws, 4 attacks with the tongues, which again, weird. 6 attacks with the bladed axle as I'm running people down. So, this is
it's like the dumbest looking model, but this thing slaps. Honest to God, this thing slaps. Like, I'd be afraid.
So hard, dude. You're like, hold on, let me roll my 19 attacks real quick. You're like, what? Yeah, also, they've got devastating wounds. I'm probably getting rerolls from somebody. You're like, this is legit. So, Secret Chariot is like the Diet Coke version of the Flare Chariot. It does have anti-infantry 4 up, which means that its slashing claws are doing mortals on a 4. So,
yeah, there's 9 swings with those.
Yep. I mean, dude, these are gonna pose a problem. Exalted Secret Chariot, the not Diet Coke version, 14 attacks with its slashing claws, 8 attacks with its tongues, which also have lethal hits. I mean, good.
It's pretty good. And then the ability when you kill someone, like every unit within 6 inches has to take a battle shock test.
Yeah, these guys don't fuck around. That's this. I mean, it's just the sheer volume of attacks with that many devastating wounds is just going to be good.
So one thing that Matt pointed out is they changed the way piling into combat works, and these models have gigantic bases, right? Like you might have a very hard time actually getting multiple of these in combat.
You might actually be parking lotted pretty badly too. So we will see. We will see. Let's talk about the Dark Master, Uncle Be'lakor. The guy that's failed the most at trying to take over everything. This guy's failed more times than Voldemort's failed to beat up a high school. I mean,
in 2 different games, he's failing in Age of Sigmar.
Yeah, so I was just going to say. Jesus. He's just not getting it done. However, he does have several of the rules. One, he gives a 6-inch, basically he's an icon still. Then he gets shadow forms, which are actually pretty legit. Rerolling battle shock test, don't care. I like the fact that he can just straight up go, when a friendly unit is within 6 inches of this model, the unit can only be targeted by range attacks if the attacking model is within 18 inches. That's a big deal, man. Like, he literally gives an aura off that you can't shoot at everybody around him. You kind of just pinwheel everybody in to be within 6 inches of him and just go, hey man, you're not shooting me on turn 1. Or feel free to get within 18. Then shit goes down. So I think, depending on his points, take a shot. Just that ability by itself feels like he could be an auto take.
He's incredibly good. I actually take back what I said about Chaosy being the best model. He is most likely the best model. Chaosy is probably a very close second, but I mean, Be'lakor just does everything you want him to do, and in all phases of the game, as long as he's alive and on the board, you are messing shit up for your opponent.
Yeah, I mean, just the ability to not get first turn alpha is huge, in my opinion. It's just such a big deal. You're like, basically, my army can't be shot on turn 1 unless you want to get all up in my grill. And, well, cool. You're playing that Slanesh army, you throw Be'lakor in, you're like, hey, would you like to get within 18 of my guys that move 14?
Yes.
I do.
Yes.
I don't even care what your movement characteristic is. I will let you place your models within 18 of me. So, I mean, that ability by itself is just nuts. It's huge.
So, okay. I just want to make sure I'm reading this right. So, if I go first and I'm not playing demons, he still gets this ability off, correct? At the start of the battle round.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the start of the battle round. So I choose it. If you go first, I choose it at basically your turn because it's the beginning of the battle round. So you just go, you're like, cool, I've got my super shooty army. I'm about to murder you. You're like, no. You have to get really close. That by itself, I don't need any of his other abilities. That is worth taking right there. That by itself is nuts. As long as he's not.
I just want to let you guys know that we've been talking about demons for an hour, and there's 5 other codexes to go through.
There is no chance we're getting through all of them. Just letting you know.
Soul Grinders, they grind souls. Moving on. Demon Prince.
He princes demons.
Actually, pretty good.
I was to say he's significantly better than he used to be honest with you.
Yep, he gives everyone within 6 inches of himself stealth.
I do like the fact that he just randomly has, like, once a game, 3-up invuln. Legit. This guy's actually really legit. So, Demon Prince of Chaos with wings. Yeah, it's the same thing. And that is all chaos. What are your thoughts, everyone?
Love it. I think it's powerful.
Ultra powerful?
I don't know about ultra powerful. It's hard to make any determinations without understanding, like, how much these things cost. But we miss, like, the important part about when you pass a battle shock with demons, they regen anyway. You put dudes back on the board.
Well, also the fact that when you pass you're regenning guys, but also when your opponent fails a battle shock, they take D3 mortals.
Yeah. It's built around, like, Slanesh seems a little overtuned Again, depending on points, everyone take your shots, and then everything have like 14-inch movement, getting in, causing battle shock, killing stuff, forcing battle shock. It's already a 50-50 like gamble on battle shock when you go to your turn to see if you're even holding your primary at all. You're skewing that more. You're making it so every turn you're either losing guys to D3 battle shock tests, and then I'm regenning people, and I'm close to you, which is causing you to take another battle shock test when something dies. It's, to me, it seems like it's stacking and it's crazy.
I agree. I think it's going to be delightful. I don't think it's crazy. I think it's just right. And sometimes that's all you need. Just right.
So who's next on our
We're going to go
chaotic
with
tour?
the C to the S to the M. So I just wanted to see what you guys thought about the demons. And also, I wanted to make sure I had a shots gift. Oh, man, it's so small. You gotta make it larger. Everybody. Blam. The Don. Abaddon, the Despoiler. He's legit.
Does he say devastating wounds?
Yes, he does.
Fantastic.
22 attacks of him, baby. Holy shit.
No, Red. It's one or the other, not both.
Why not? Oh, it's not extra attacks, but they're both devastating, to be honest. So I either take my 14 or my 8, but my 8 have damage 3. I mean,
8 all day.
one of the biggest things is he just straight up gives a 4-up invuln to everybody within 6 inches of him. I mean, I heard that's good.
It's that thing that Azrael used to do.
Yeah, but the Don's cooler than Azrael. Also,
what is their army rule? Because I forgot. Oh, it's you make your dark packet.
Dark
you either
packs.
get lethal hits or sustained hits, right?
I'm zooming back up. Now, you know what? I'm not.
It's either lethal hits or sustained hits, and then if you fail the test, it's D3 mortal wounds.
Yeah, and the Don gets a CP when he does a dark pack on a 2-up. That's legit.
And then there's Marks of Chaos. The one that I noticed was Zench, just 5+ critical hit, lethal hit. So any Zench unit in this book could just auto hit or auto wound anything.
Yeah.
On a 5+ to hit.
I like Lyle's like, no one is failing battle shock tests against demons. They're not surviving. The Don's legit. He's going to beat people up. That's what the Don does. Also, again, giving 4-up invulns and an aura is pretty badass, to be honest with you. Harken World Claimer. Basically, he just straight up gives jump pack units the I can't remember what the stupid ability's called. 4-up, you take a mortal on charges.
Devastating charge?
Yeah, I figured it used to be a strat though, but he just does it. So, blah, why can't I talk? He's got a precision melee weapon, which is kind of legit. Strength 5, AP 2 damage, 6 attacks. Then he's got his Hell Spear, which I love the fact has a billion different special rules, but only 1 attack. So he's okay. He's not the Don. Huron Blackheart. Now, this is a dude that I like to hang out with. The old Badab Master. The Tyrant, even. While this model is leading you to add 1 to the OC, that's just good. You know what I mean? So that's legit on that. He can redeploy, which is huge. He can just... I like the fact... It's only once per battle, but when someone gets within 9 inches of him, he can make a D6 move. That's huge with the unit. Tyrant's Claw, legit. A ton of sweep attacks. He only joins Chosen or Legionnaires, though. Which is meh. Demon Prince. Not as cool as the demon version of them.
So Michael pointed out something. A lot of these characters aren't faction locked.
True also. That they used to be faction locked on that. That is a big deal. So
Okay, so that's actually a way bigger deal than it sounds, right?
True.
Yes,
So you're
because
not-
that
now
means you
you're
can
not
have
restricted
Huron,
in-
you can have Harkin, and Abaddon.
Yeah. I wish the Demon Prince was slightly better. The other Demon Prince, the Demon Prince from the Demon's book is slightly better. Agreed? I'm glad you guys agreed with me. With wings. Moving on. Fabius Bile. The dude you don't want showing up in your planet because he does weird stuff to people.
He likes to have jackets made of people's skin.
I mean, also true. Also, you don't want to take the supplements that Fabius gives you. Or maybe you do because he enhances you. +1 to strength of melee weapons equipped by bodyguard models of the unit, and +1 to toughness of bodyguard models. He can also join chosen legionnaires. He gets up on a 2-up. I like the fact that he can turn one attack to 0. That is a big deal. So, he's legit. He's just legit. He doesn't have any devastating wounds, which makes me sad. He does have a 5 of Final Pain. Cypher. Remember when you were bad since the beginning of time? Good book, though. His last book that came out is pretty sweet. He does literally make it to the Emperor. And then,
His ability is pretty decent. Agent of Discord.
yeah, but it's once per battle. It's another Vect, once a game Vect. I don't know if I'm including it for just that, because his attacks are very, very meh. So, the fact is, if I want to see this, I want to read this one more time because he can shoot back, but it's just him, correct?
Just him.
Yeah, this would be awesome if it was his unit that he attaches to.
He doesn't attach to it.
I'm saying if he attached to a unit and they could shoot back, but he's lone operative, so I just don't care about this. Then
I mean, you get free shooting. You get 9 shots. It's not bad.
Just admit the Cypher sucks for the last 25 years and move on with your life.
But he looks really cool.
He's always looked really cool, and he does have cool fluff. His rules have been awful since I started playing.
So he started blasting.
Yeah, except for the fact that his blasting is like he's shooting bubble guns at you. So
Did you have sustain hit?
cool.
Pew pew.
Pew pew. If he wasn't, hitting people with a wet towel and a bubble gun, it would be cooler. The mop gives Pheno pain, +1 to advance and charge. He can also just jack a dude up, and then they get +1 to hit, +1 to wound. Sacrificial Dagger is now even better than it used to be. This is sick. He can join chosen legionnaires or possessed, which I think is a big deal.
I have to step away for a minute.
He seems pretty decent, honestly. Like not having the cursed earth, cursed ground, whatever it was called.
Yeah,
It's coming down a little bit in their survivability, but Feel the Pain 6-up is interesting.
When we go down to possess, though, like him giving the possess +1 to hit, +1 to wound, and a 6-up Pheno pain, I actually feel that he's a great addition to that squad. Like he feels like an auto if you're taking them.
Well, he already failed the first test. There's no devastating wounds, so you just can't take them, right?
I mean, but he's giving people stuff. So we'll go down. Chaos Lord is a Chaos Lord. He's literally a captain. The once per battle, the chance for glory, pretty legit because he buffs everything that he does up. So you give him a Daemon Hammer, so you get those devastating wounds. Yeah. Yeah, I wish he joined Havoc's for sure. Chaos Lord Terminator armor. Sorcerer, meh. Gives people -1 to hit. I don't like that. I wish he just had regular presence, which was +1 to hit, which does more damage. Sorcerer and Terminator armor. I hate that we have a different thing with every single one of these guys. They're like, I changed my clothes. Here's a new data sheet. Lucius the Eternal. Fights first when he leads a unit. Legit. I love the fact that he does his wacky thing where he tries to steal somebody's soul. He joins Legionnaires and Noise Marines. Lord Discordant, Disco Lord. Like this guy quite a bit. He puts the beats on folk. He has less attacks than he used to have, though, which makes me a little sad. I do like the fact that he buffs. If you had a bunch of vehicles, you'd have to have a specific type of army. But the fact that he just chooses one enemy, it's enemy vehicle also. So he's like, all right, I'm moving on. I was excited for just a second, and then I wasn't. Warpsmith, corrupted tech marine. He is what he is. If you have a vehicle army, he's an auto tech. If not, he is not. Exalted champion. Meh. This guy's no master of executions. He is +1 to hit. When he's joining folk, he can choose chosen legionnaires. The Dark Apostle. +1 to wound, never a bad thing. He can make someone not battle shocked, which is maybe good. What do you think about that, brother?
I think I'm trying to read quickly as we move down because I gave these guys. This was like the last thing I looked at because I went from demons to Thousand Suns into CSM, but just shrugging battle shocked is pretty good. The +1 to wound is good. I'm trying to figure out while we're scrolling through here, like what is working with their sustained hits and lethal hits. So we passed one guy, passed somebody who was giving +1 or the rerolls on both to hit and wound, right?
Yeah, well, it's just we got to go to some of the regular units. We have a lot of characters is the problem, and then we'll jump into this. So the Dark Commune. These guys are kind of odd because they don't join. They literally join a cultist and a cursed cultist. They give them a 5+ invuln. So depending on take shots, guys. Depending on the cost. Yeah, true. Demigod being the start of the phase, I agreed on that too. Depending on the cost, giving your trash units a 5+ invuln seems legit. And you can also just make the trash unit you're with once a game be +1 to hit, +1 to wound. And to be fair, you're only ever going to be in combat with your cultists once a game anyways. You know what I mean? If somebody's over there, you're either getting peeled or you're killing them and getting them the hell off your objective. So I don't hate that. Legionnaires. Maybe. If they got all of these combined, it'd be sweet.
They could just shoot all of their profiles and then hit with all of their profiles.
Every single thing. If I could take like a shit ton of Reaper chain cannons, I would. Also, why do those not have devastating wounds?
Yes.
These guys are standard troops. They're decent. They have a couple options. I like the cultist mob quite a bit with the Dark Commune. They also have sticky objectives. So trash cultist mob has sticky objectives. That seems amazing.
That's pretty big.
Yeah.
But they can't be joined by the master of possession, right?
No, they can be joined by the Dark Commune.
That's it, and they don't give them feel no pain.
No, they give them a 5+ invuln.
So Brad, with these guys, are you just hoping to go first and not face Desolation Marines?
I mean that's my hope for a lot of these guys, to be honest with you. But the Accursed Cultists are actually pretty decent on that. They have 6+ final pain, and you can bring guys back just like you can now. Accursed Cultists are just better than Cultists, and you're getting a 5+ invuln. So you're getting a 5+ invuln, 5+ final pain. If I'm bringing Accursed Cultists, I'm bringing the Commune, and I'm going to stuff them in there. Because you'd have to kill the whole thing. They actually have a decent amount of staying power with 5+ invuln and a 6+ final pain. And the fact that they regen, so as long as somebody's alive, you're getting guys back. So, I mean, I feel like I've already said how I feel about Desolation Marines, so we'll move on with that.
That's your favorite unit in the Space Marine book, right?
Yeah. Terminators, I like them a lot. Each time they make a Dark Pack, they basically get to reroll their full rerolls to hit. That's legit. They also can have Chain Fists, which are anti-vehicle 3, which makes me happy because they're doing 2 mortals on a 3+. So I actually like Terminators have been pretty good, period. Master of Executions. This guy is not playing around. Throwing down devastating wounds at precision. Oh, yeah. The other one's better. Possessed. Now remember, we can literally do +1 to hit, +1 to wound. He gave + to charges. Each time this unit makes a Dark Pack, their weapons have devastating wounds. We can get rerolls on these wounds joining the mop to these guys, I think these guys are legit.
So this is what we were waiting for, right? Like,
Mhm.
So far there was nothing that was like standing out as cohesive in anything we've seen. But Possess having all of these abilities, well, the ability to get devastating wounds and then rerolls and feel no pain and advance the charge and whatever. This is where you're leaning.
Yeah. These seem super legit when you buff them up, because you're going to do a mortal wound to the squad, and they're going to get all those buffs. You know what I mean? Plus he buffs them anyways, and then they're getting devastating wounds. I think these guys are sick. 4 attacks apiece with 2 damage, so every 6 is 2 mortal wounds.
They're pretty tough, and they have 3 wounds.
100%. Agreed. 10 Slaanesh Possess with mop seems great. 100%. I think this is we've tried to get the auto takes so far from just what we're looking at, but 100% on that. 100%. You want the sustain. You want exploding 6s. I don't want auto wound at all, because I'm looking for fishing for devastating wounds on this. And the thing is they're +1 to hit, +1 to wound. You know what I mean? So with him using the sacrificial pact, or the sacrificial dagger. But you can get you can, Jared. You can give him the +1 to hit wound. That's what he does with them. Because I want the explosions. So I think these guys are an auto. The mob plus these guys seem like an auto to me. Chosen. I wish they had some more options, to be perfectly honest. The fact that their accursed weapons are twin link, rerolling the wound, but they're only 1 damage. Meh. Seems legit. Dagger is only himself? That's why.
Yeah, anytime this model makes a psychic attack.
Oh God. Go screw yourself. Why? God.
Yuck.
What the no. Ah, boo. Boo. Hold on.
We got to go back up and read them.
I'm looking at him right now.
Not even bothering. I'm done with this codex now. Blastmaster.
I mean, he still gives +1 to advance on charge and feel no pain.
Yeah, screw him. Screw that. Screw all of this. These guys suck so much compared to demons. Am I missing something, guys? Literally, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills here. We just did the demons, and I feel that this is like the cousin that your mom makes you take out when you do family functions. You want to go somewhere, they're like, take Timmy with you to play. You're like, come on, Mom. But seriously, am I just completely missing?
I mean, nothing's really standing out to me. I mean, the Obliterators going up to 4 is pretty cool, though.
Wait, we haven't seen Venom Crawler yet. Maybe it's like
there we go. Cranked. There's the Venom Crawler. Soul Leader. At the end of a phase, if 1 or more of your attacks made by this model have destroyed 1 or more enemy units till the end of the phase, an end of the battle, add +1 attacks to this model. Man, I don't care so much. I'm so disappointed in this now. My combo doesn't work. This codex is stupid.
Wait, they can't shoot out the rhinos?
Chaos Bikers do Chaos Biker stuff. They don't even.
Sorry,
this just sucks. Like, what's going on?
They can redeploy off the table.
Oh, Nick, you're not wrong, Nick. I got so bummed because I thought there was a couple like awesome combos. Why would I give a shit about buffing myself? He's 1 guy. Oh, fucking shit.
Like nothing appears bad. It's just average. Like this is on par with Tyranids.
Combine weapons. Combine weapons have devastating wounds, rapid fire. I like bikes. Bikes are the best thing I've seen so far.
They can all take combat weapons, right?
And then they can also, at the end of your opponent's turn, you can actually bounce off. If you're within 6 of battle edge, you can go into strategic reserves. That's badass. Chaos Rhinos don't have firing points. That's not even a real thing. I swear to God. They just come with a combat bolter, by the way. Chaos Bikers are legit. You know what? I'm going to stop being sad. Chaos Bikers are legit.
I mean, I like them.
Raptors Raptors are Raptors. They're fast. They punch. They have a shit ton of attacks. Yes. Warp Talons. Why are Warp Claws so much worse than they used to be? Whatever. Ugh. I don't care about these Battle Shock tests so much. Havocs. Reaper Chain Cannons are still really cool. How about that? They also ignore all ballistic skill modifiers to hit, so they can walk around and shoot, which is nice because all their shit hits on a 3. Last cannons are last cannons. I mean, you got a point on that one. To be fair, I think anything past Loyal Marines is going to look meh. The demons look really good, dude. Look really, really good. And then we got into, man, CSM has not even felt like the Diet Coke of demons. It's felt like the Big K Cola of demons. Havoc seems fine too. They don't seem bad. They seem good. I'm down with that. Obliterator Nation. And whoever painted this model was amazing. Crushing Fists.
You can give indirect.
Crushing Fists are legit. War Pails, legit. These guys are legit.
And you can have 4 of them.
Yeah. The fact that they can have Meltas, they can have Salvo, and then they can do sustained hits with War Pail and D6 plus 3. These guys are for sure. CSM is diet root beer.
Land Raider, Predator, Vindicator.
Yeah.
Those are all the same, aren't they?
Yeah, the Land Raider, we've already gone over these in previous. They're all the same. I want to see the fact that you said that the Rhino doesn't have firing ports, though.
It does not.
Jesus.
So do we think that's an error that's going to be addressed, or are we just going to assume that they don't have firing ports?
I can't. Why would they not have firing points?
I don't know.
Okay, let's talk about the Defiler. The Defiler is actually legit. I scrolled down to it specifically because I like his rule quite a bit. Scuttling Walker. You can move over friendly monster and vehicle units as if they were not there, and you can move over terrain features that are 4 inches or less in height as if they were not there. That's a really good vehicle rule. Also, he's got a strength 16 D6 plus 1 damage attack. That
you can do some shenanigans with that, Brad. The Scuttling Walker rule,
yes,
and how his legs are, and like trying to like hide models to prevent charges.
100%. This dude's, I mean, I think he's legit. 14 wounds, 8-inch move, T10. Claws are legit, 100%. Defiler, legit. All right. He almost makes them be not the big K Cola. Ballistic skill 3 on the
But don't
forge
demons
feed.
have a Defiler?
Demons are so much better than CSM. Period. It's not even a question. I mean,
maybe the strength in the army lies in the icons that you choose, your marks. You know, because when you're mustering the army, you get to pick your marks, and then you can kind of customize how you're going to attack.
kind of, but like, I do like the Hellbrute finally gets a cool rule because he gets to choose both the packs. And you can just twin link your Hellbrute's fists. I do that all day long. If this dude's super cheap, I would love it. But why wouldn't I bring the Hellbrute hammer? Because it's hammer time. Was there a Vashtor datasheet? There was not.
Yeah, there is. It's coming up.
Is it what's in here?
It's literally like the last one in this.
Oh.
That's going to turn it all around. Promise.
Mauler Fiends do advance in charge, which I like. And they reroll all their stuff. And they have kind of a shit ton of attacks that hit hard. I don't not like these guys. They have 12 attacks. As long as they're not super expensive, I like them. Chaos Rhino, absolutely no firing ports. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. There's literally a guy sticking out of the top. He's popping out. He cut his own firing port out. That guy's a genius.
It's because they have spikes, guys. You know, the spikes are preventing people from the inside shooting out.
Chaos Spawn are pretty sweet, actually.
I don't think so. They only 2.
Chaos Spawn.
No more units of 5.
Corn, Lord of Skulls. We already saw him in the reveal originally. Corn, Lord of Skulls beats people up. That's what he does. He whoops them. That is pretty big, though.
Look at his explosion, though.
The Crown. The Crown's still legit. The problem is the Crown can get shot now. All of these are just like meh. We're going to see on the points because they're no longer terrain features. GW loves to troll the CSM players. Vashtor, the Arcaphane, a demigod. I didn't actually read this. I didn't scroll far enough because I didn't care. I got to the Lord of Skulls and I just kind of pooed out. So he's got good sweep attack, good regular attack with anti-vehicle 4 devastating wounds. That's legit. While a friendly demon vehicle is within 6 inches of this model, does he buff himself?
He doesn't buff himself.
He does not buff himself. He's a monster.
But he has anti-vehicle devastating wounds. This guy can peace out a night.
Fuck this guy.
He's getting crapped on.
I'm like literally. I only have so much time to do this, and I'm mad that I just did CSM. I got to get my chi back together, everybody. Woosa.
So like Matt Ward wrote this, right? He was like writing this codex. He's like, you know what? Fuck CSM. I love Ultramarines. Everyone's the greatest, except CSM. And you got this watered down bland codex. Index, my bad.
I love Nick goes. He goes, that Rhino data slate describes exactly what it's like to play CSM. Why? Just
all right,
fucking why?
I want to see if the Thousand Suns Rhino has firing points.
Just why, man? No,
because of what happened 15 years ago.
Can we just? You want to talk about Thousand Suns, or we want to talk about Knights?
I think let's do Knights just to get it knocked out. That shouldn't be that difficult.
Fine. I got to get the bad taste of CSM out of my mouth.
Knights.
Huh. All right. Yeah, Space Wolves get screwed with too. Let's talk about Knights of Shade first, because this is legit stratagem. 1 CP, up to 2 War Dog models from your army, or 1 Big Dog. Till the end of the phase, the selected models can move horizontally through models and terrain features as if they were not there. YOLO swaggin'. Surprise, motherfucker, I'm inside a building.
Hey guys, just so you know, they're consistent because the Thousand Suns Rhino also doesn't have firing points.
Because they don't need it.
But they do have the
They have a dude sitting on top. How do they not have a firing point? There's literally a guy right there going, I can fire right outside, guys. I feel like this is like the fucking Dr. Evil where he's like, I can go to my room right now and get a gun.
Right, you know what adds insult to injury? They don't have spikes on the Thousand Suns Rhino.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Whatever. Knights of Shade, amazing. Okay? It's good. Very good. Scroll down. War Dog Executioner. Pew-pewing. Great gun. Basically the same stats as it had before, but now you don't have to roll for it. The War Dog autocannon just straight up has 4 shots.
Actually, Brad, I saw one of the stratagems someone pointed out. These guys could just move through terrain.
I literally just said that.
Well, I was looking at rhinos, which is more.
I just spent 5 minutes talking about how awesome that strat was. Thanks for telling me about it.
Hey, they can move through terrain, Brad.
Ah, Jesus. I feel like you're throwing CSM right back at me. Ah, man, I need something to drink now.
I'm going to check the Death Guard Rhino. I'm really curious.
The autocannon lost some range, right? Isn't the current autocannon 72 inches?
No, this is 48 for them. The big cannons, only the
battle cannon.
Battle cannon has 72. +1 if you're shooting something that's below half strength. It's legit. How many guns do they have? 2 War Dog autocannons, so they get flat 8 shots. It's legit, and they get the heavy stubber. The Stalker's not trying to hear that. See, he's got some serious stuff. You have the Slaughter Claw or the Chain Talent. I like these guys quite a bit.
Hey, Brad, this is very important. The Death Guard Rhino does have firing deck too.
I will stop this stream right now and pull this car over. Drink a Diet Root Beer. I actually like Diet Root Beer. I think it has to be shittier. It's definitely Big K Diet Big K Cola.
Brad wants to drink some Malort.
Is that shit stuff we had? God damn it!
It's one of those. It's one of those drinks that if you go to Adepticon and someone hands you free whiskey, you got to watch out for.
These nights are actually good so far. Let's go back to this. Fuck that CSM Codex. 100%, Jared. Autocan is still amazing at murdering Eldar tanks. Great. 3 flat damage. Good. The Carnivore, you can reroll charges made for him. He's got a piss ton of attacks. Legit. And is he equipped with both of these?
He is.
He's got the Slaughter Claw and the Chain Talon. Yeah, this guy's getting like a mad amount of attacks.
Yeah.
Like this dude is not. Oof.
It's insanely fast too.
Yeah,
14 inches.
I was just about to say 14 inches. This dude's hauling ass, re-rolling charges. This guy's legit, man.
Phasing through walls.
Yep.
Re-rolling hits.
100%.
Crazy.
Brad is a LaCroix kind of guy. Oh, Jesus. It's all wine all the time. I say that, and every time I go to a tournament, I end up drinking a shit ton of whiskey somehow. But
Since when?
because I drink shots with people. People like freaking the Viet sneaks in liquor on me all the time.
So, all right. So, question for you guys. They're battle line. All right. So it's a moot point. So you can have up to 6 of these stalkers and 6 of the executioners.
Yes,
That's pretty solid.
The carnivores are super. I do like the fact that with the brigands, every time you target the closest eligible enemy unit, you get a +1 AP. That's legit. You know what I mean? So they also have the Avenger Chain Cannon, because they have the Avenger Chain Cannon and the Spear. Yep. So they have the Spear and the Chain Cannon. So you've got the Melta Weapon, and the Melta Weapon's now Melta 4. So it's D6 plus 4 at 12 inches. No, these guys all are singles, Jared. Everybody's a single unit model. But these dudes are, I like both of these knights so far. Like really, really good. The Huntsman, also legit, but I think I just take a Carnivore before I take this guy, because he just gets 1 reroll to hit wound. And it's only on monsters and vehicles. I'd rather just have the full rerolls on the other guy.
So for the brigand special ability, let's say you split shots.
Scrolling back.
So let's say you split shots. All right, you put the Meltagun on a Rhino and the Gatling cannon against the infantry who are behind the Rhino. If he blows up the Rhino, does the AP1 go towards the infantry as well? Because it's now the newest closest target, or is it when you allocate the shots, only that one unit is the closest target?
The way it's worded right now, it's per. You know what I mean? Because it says each time this model makes a range attack that targets the closest enemy unit. And technically, all of your attacks go 1 attack, 1 hit, 1 wound, 1. You know what I mean? They're technically 1 at a time. So yes, if you killed that and then moved on to the next thing, you would get the extra AP.
It's pretty solid.
Yeah, this is legit. Both the Brigand and the Carnivore seem super strong. Super fast movement, tons of attacks, rerolling charges. This is getting the extra AP. So I like these guys quite a bit so far. Huntsman seems meh, but he's not bad, but he's just meh. The Spoiler has all of the things in the universe. I like the fact that he's adding one of the tests for Battle Shock. That's cool. He rerolls a hit and a wound. Meh. You know what I mean? He does have all of the guns. So he's got a Demon Breath, Meltagun, Reaper Chainsword, Titanic Feet, Warp Strike, and then he can obviously take whatever the hell he wants. So I do like the Battle Cannon just seems so good now, because it's literally at 36 inches. It's 2d6 plus 6. You know, for its number of shots. That's just a huge volume of a strength 10 gun that's doing 3 damage. So
can we talk about how the Baby Knights have OC10?
Dude,
they all have OC10.
They all have.
No, I'm sorry. The Baby Knights have OC8.
OC8.
The Big Knights have OC10. That is like if we're moving to MSU, right? Like everyone's gonna be taking 5-man units or the smallest possible unit because of all the overkill from mortals. These guys are gonna be really hard to ship off objectives.
Yeah. And the thing is that they have the ability. They don't have rotate, Jared. They have a strat for it. I guess it is kind of rotate, but these guys already have like a flat up 5-up interval anyways. So I do like the Desecrator quite a bit. The fact that every time he makes a range attack against a monster or vehicle, he gets devastating wounds. And every time that anybody's within 9 inches of him, a war dog, they get to reroll ones. This dude's a very good buffing character, and he's got a decent amount of shots. He's got how many of the... Oh, I thought he had multiples of that. Oh, that doesn't do shit. He doesn't have enough attacks. I don't care anymore. Can we flip one to a 6? I had to look at the specials again for that. Because if you can make devastating wounds and he gets an auto 6, it'd be nice because of the fact that you can do 9 mortal wounds on each shot from the laser destructor. But otherwise, this guy's a nice buffing character, but I don't think his volume's enough for me. You can go punch people. The Desecrator's more of a... He has a long-range gun. See, this is the problem with this guy for me is he's got a long-range gun where you want to sit back and shoot, but most of his damage comes from being in melee. You know what I mean? So I don't like him as much. Now, let's talk about somebody I do like. The Rampager has seen some shit, and now he's pissed about it. Every time he makes a charge move, which is what he's always doing, because he literally has a heavy stubber as his only shooting attack, he gets sustained hits. In addition, once per battle, he can advance and charge, which is going to be the first time you do it. And he also has reroll ones in melee, which obviously you want him in melee with this guy because he's going to be pushed up into your opponent's grill. And he's got all of the attacks. The Warp Strike Claw, Strength 20, AP 3, 8 damage, because sometimes you just got to wreck somebody with that. I mean, this dude's not fucking around. He's got the Warp Claw and the Chainsword, which means he's either doing 30 sweep attacks or 12 big attacks. I mean, he does have the ability to do, what, 80-something damage?
I don't think you get both weapons, Brad.
He does. He's got the Reaper Chainsword and the Warp Strike Claw.
Yeah, he's the pure melee knight.
Yeah, he's got both of these.
Okay.
Like, this
Because,
dude's...
I mean, would it be extra tax, though? Because, like, with Gilliman has a fist and a sword. He only gets one or the other. He doesn't get both.
I
don't think you get both because it's not extra attacks. You pick one of these profiles.
Well, I don't like that at all. Some of these people get both, and other people don't. Somebody tell me what the rule is for this. I gotta wait
He
for the
doesn't have
delay.
extra attacks. You don't get both.
Well, that makes me sad now. Sometimes I need 18 sweep attacks.
I mean, you can take 18 sweep attacks. You're just not getting 30 sweep attacks.
Fine.
So that makes the carnivore a little
less than.
He's still crazy good, but if you can't hit with both, 12 sweep attacks with the chain talent and then the 6 slaughter claws.
Yeah, he doesn't have. Now the Abominant, however, does have 9 exploding hits and then 8 extra attacks with the Bale Mace. I just assume they're extra attacks. That makes me sad.
Would you ever take this guy, though, realistically, with all the anti-psyker that's floating around?
Absolutely not. You'd get picked up in a second. They would literally hit you with an Inquisitor with Flamers from the Sisters of Silence, and you would take like 50 mortal wounds.
Yeah.
So, man. However, sometimes you got to be a tyrant and put your guys in cover. I do like the fact that reinforcements, he has the basically infiltrator role. You can't put guys, they have to be 12 inches away. And he does have a shit ton of shots. He PPUs fairly well.
So this guy's actually really solid. And here's why. Because he has a towering keyword. If he could draw a line of sight to a model, even if it's an obscuring terrain or behind obscuring terrain, he can still shoot at him.
Yep.
That's insane. Like, this guy will be shooting your army the entire time.
And he also comes with everything. Brimstone Volcano Lance, the Ectoplasmic Decimator, 2 Geiststrike missile launchers, 2 twin Demon Breath melta guns, twin Desiccator cannon. So, like, basically almost everything on this list he has. These aren't options. You're just shooting them. So this dude's ain't trying to hear that, see? And he's also seeing you. Like, hey man, I noticed you were trying to hide behind that building, but I'm 12 inches tall and I'm looking at you right now. Prepare to eat ectoplasm.
Like that's gonna be rough. Like I'm
Rough?
just trying to think of, yeah, right. I'm just trying to think of like current train layouts, and he should be able to see over most terrain most of the time.
Yes. I like this dude quite a bit. Hold on. We haven't taken a shot in a while. It's going to depend on the points, everybody.
I did get some alcohol because we kept saying that too much.
I don't know. You really think the Abominant, just because he's a psyker, is just going to get picked up by the anti-psyker stuff?
Possibly. Yes.
100%.
Yeah, there's
It's
a lot
just, it's just this. So the anti-X keyword means that when you roll that, it auto wounds.
Yeah, and you have anti-psyker 2 out there. A lot of them. This dude's a motherfucker, though. Dude, this is a lot of shots. He has all of these weapons. That's just a lot of. I mean, his shortest guns like the harpoon. You know what I mean? But like most of the shit's 36 inches, 72 inches. You know what I mean? It's big.
He doesn't have all of them, but he has most of them.
I said he's got most of them.
Yeah.
I mean, and he also has that stupid missile launcher, which is pretty disgusting because it's anti-Titanic devastating wounds. You're like, sometimes if you want to shoot another vehicle. Also, the fact that stupid harpoons on him get within 18 inches, anti-monster, anti-vehicle, devastating wounds, damage 12. Yes, Tyrant is definitely going to make a Land Raider army very sad. So
pick that up, and then that one, and then also this one.
You know what? This Knight Tyrant actually made me happy. You know, the CSM book did not make me happy.
I thought it was really good, actually.
So can you ally?
I will punch you right in the face.
Yeah. Can you ally knights into demons?
Yeah, I thought knights allied. Period. You can take. They released that earlier. I forgot what it is though. I'd have to look that one up. He has to take one of the things off to get the harpoon. Let's go.
You're not taking the harpoon. You're taking the guns that actually have
100%.
The harpoon's silly. Don't get me wrong. I love the fact that strike 24 does 12 damage, but you're not taking it.
In 12 mortals. It would be nice, but let's talk about these Thousand Suns because I think some of these strats are pretty badass. So, Destined by Fate is legit. You basically go, hey man, I just got hit with that strength, that 12 damage weapon. How about if I made that 0? They got Devastating Sorcery. Any psychic attacks, you could reroll the hit, and you can reroll the wound. Full rerolls, I heard, are pretty good. Oath of Moment seemed good. They buff up their psychics on that. Sorceress Might, huge. Till the end of the phase, add 9 inches of the range of psychic weapons equipped by this unit. That's badass. So I think these are really, really good.
So you can, in Scrolled Infusion, you can turn your flamers into psychic, and then give them ignore cover and indirect fire.
Yep, and then I would say with Warp Sight.
Cool, and then you extend the range by 9.
I mean, that's a fuck ton of CP, but yes.
Yeah, but you're 21
you're just not getting that many CP in the course of a game.
You think that.
You start off with 0.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Kyle's like,
build CP in
nah.
this army.
Kyle's like, nah, bitches. You can also, I wish that this was the unit. Arcane Vortex would be amazing if it went to the entire unit. I'm always going to take Athenian Scrolls. You just basically just get an additional Cabal point. That seems legit. The crystal still bounces you around.
Now, how many of these enhancements can you actually put in your army? Is it 2 or 3?
Absolutely no idea.
Oh, okay. Strong.
Yes, you can do stuff.
Since you're not starting with CP, you have to pay for these, most likely.
Yes, 100%.
You have to pay actual points.
Yeah. My boy Aramon, nice.
He's an auto take.
He's an auto take because he literally says once per battle you can make your. Let's be honest. What it should say is once per battle you can make your Twist of Fate cost 0. And when he joins a unit, he's +1 to wound for that unit. It's legit. He maybe even too legit. Airman on a disc, which everybody wondered if he was going to have this. He's got all the same thing. He just moves farther.
Mike, Mr. Henderson, the Zeech Master, he pointed out that the warp sight, the thing that gives a direct fire and ignores cover, only applies to the Psyker model.
That'd be crazy if they're all.
So just not good for 2CP. Like, you're never taking that.
I'm not really sure why we decided to go Aramon and Thousand Suns Land Raider. Land Raider might be legit. It's got assault ramps. T12, 16 wounds, moving 12. Boop, boop. Get on the bus, baby.
Are you taking it, though? Not with Thousand Suns, which is a shooting army?
No, not with Thousand Suns. With some other stuff I might. Assault ramps are legit, man. Moving 10 inches, and then, like, you know, a lot of people have advanced and charge strats. You can just wreck some shit. Why is Aramon so much better than Eldrad? He's got a book trilogy, bro. Everybody knows that if you get 3 books written about you, you become all powerful. Come on now. Everybody knows that.
But the warp site says 1,000 Sun Psyker unit from your army, blah, blah, blah. You can get that thing, right? But Rubric Marines are Psykers. They have keyword Psyker.
I agree.
The Sergeant's a Psyker, right?
The unit itself is a Psyker.
You might say Aspiring Sorcerer Psyker.
All right, I'm tired of looking at tanks here. These guys are really bothering me.
All the tanks around us are the same.
Yeah.
Noting that the Rhino does not have firing points.
Chaos Spawn! Still only bringing 2.
I don't think you're taking these anymore.
I don't know. They regenerate. They got Field Up Pain 5. They got 4 wounds. They can go around and be annoying. Thousand Sons of Vindicator. Stop showing me fucking vehicles. I mean, he's still got Scuttling Walker. The Defiler's legit, by the way. You know what's better than a CSM? Hold on, I'll see if Nick's still here. Hey, you know what's better than a Chaos Space Marine Defiler? A Thousand Suns Defiler, because it's not CSM. Sorry. Exalted Sorcerer, legit. Gives 2 Cabal points. And when he's leading a unit, the unit has a 4-up invulnerable save. Legit. Obviously, depending on his cost. Exalted Sorcerer on disc, same exact shit. Thousand Suns Forge Feed. Still probably never taking it, but it's not CSM, so it makes me happier. All the Thousand Suns tanks are in Witsec. Hellbrute. I do want to see somebody take big ass hammers on a Hellbrute. The fact that the hammer grows out of his body is pretty badass too.
I don't actually ever think I've seen a hammer helper.
I don't even know if they legitimately were a thing before.
I know they came out with a new plastic kit, but I've never seen one in person.
I wish these guys did mortals when they flew over people. I do like the fact that the Helldrake is finally what it's supposed to be, which is an anti-flyer. And he has anti-fly 2 devastating wounds with his melee attacks. That's legit. Infernal.
Brad, that's gonna wreck Eldar because it's anti-fly, not anti-flyer. So
yes.
Assault Marines, jet bikes,
yes,
transports,
yes, all of the things. Yeah, he's doing devastating wounds to him. This dude is punching people that fly, and he's not a happy guy. Infernal Master, I like this dude quite a bit. He gives you 2 Cabal points, and he gives you exploding 6s when he joins a unit. And one of the bigger things for me is once per turn, you can change the result of 1 hit roll, 1 wound roll, or 1 damage roll, or 1 saving throw roll by this model to an unmodified 6, if only he had some devastating wounds to use that on. You fool. But he's still good.
At Eldar, they get it too.
Magnus Thread. Magnus.
I think I just hurt Jared's feelings because he's an Eldar guy. There's so much anti-fly, by the way. Like, there's a Space Marine tank that can do like anti-fly 2+ and do like 12 mortals.
I do love the fact that he's given off an aura of +1 to hit and +1 to wound off all psychic attacks, which is big because like half the shooting attacks that come out of this army are psychic, which is a big deal. He himself is kind of a badass. Kind of wish his sweep attacks did multiple damage. He does, however, have devastating wounds on his blade, and he's got devastating wounds on his Gates of Magnus, which is a shit ton of attacks, actually. That's actually pretty nasty, to be honest with you.
He has 24-inch range.
Mm-hmm. He's legit. He also just basically he also could put out an aura of +2 to move for everyone around him. Magnus seems legit. He flies. He goes 14.
It's gonna be interesting toughness.
Exactly.
11.
Well, he's not towering, so he's not just getting auto picked up now. He doesn't just get auto shot anymore. I mean, he's still hitting the "I'm a star" pose, so like it is hard to hide him, but you can actually put him behind things. He's not towering.
Yeah, so he benefits from obscuring terrain, unless it's a knight.
Yes, the knight is definitely seeing Magnus. I don't know what you're hiding behind besides those giant walls that we saw. I think a couple of the WTC terrain you can hide him. Magnus the Red, Thousand Suns Mauler Fiend. No. Mutilus Vortex Beast. Love him. Gotta see his points. He does extend the range of the rituals, which I think you just need at least one of these so you could get extra range on your Twist of Fate. So, this dude also has 1 billion attacks. I love the fact that he has one attack that does devastating wounds. If it hits you and does a devastating wound, it's doing a lot.
Oh boy.
Because it's 6 plus D6. So. But
Brad, you didn't see this, but Mike Henderson, he printed off 3 Mutiliths, but they're all cow themed.
That makes me so happy.
So they're all painted like with spots on the back, and they all look like cows, and then they have all this stuff come out of the face. It's a Mutilith Vortex Beast.
These Mutilith Vortex Beasts are pretty cracked, honestly. Like, depending on points.
Yeah.
But
take it. I love it. Mike immediately goes, Mutilith Vortex Beast.
These things seem really good.
Yeah, I didn't say that the Mauler theme was bad. We just already went over it in the CSM, so it's exactly the same stats. So I like Rubric Beans quite a bit, by the way. The fact that when they shoot, you reroll, you reroll wounds of 1, and if they're on an objective, you reroll all wounds. That's pretty badass. They've got a decent amount of everything. You know what I mean? They come equipped with the Inferno Bolt gun, which is still pretty decent because they dropped an AP off it, which sucks a little bit.
I mean, they have the Soul Reaper cannons, which actually have AP -1, which is different than a regular assault cannon.
True.
And it has devastating wounds.
It does have devastating wounds on that. I mean, this unit's decent. Yeah, rerolling wounds on an objective is legit. I love it. Jared goes, people may be scared of decannons, but I don't know how my poor elves survive a shooting phase. If you're not playing Marines, you can hide from some stuff, but Desolators suck. So it's all right. Critical wounds are giving +1 AP. Scarab Occult Terminators. I dig this. Well, this unit contains one or more psychic units. Each time an attack is made against this unit, the strength characteristic of the attack is greater than the unit's toughness characteristics. Subtract 1 from the wound roll. And most every gun in the game is -1 to wound against them. You know, legit. These guys seem legit. Yeah, I still think that.
So you can never wound them on 2+. Right.
And the thing is I like these guys, but I'd like to ally on some knights. You know what I mean? We saw those knights profiles. I'd love to twist a fate 3 knights into this army.
I think you need to. You need something that has the quantity of firepower and the damage output that could take advantage of that ability.
Yeah. Yes, if the army has a psyker, or the unit has a psyker, the unit I think has psyker. Correct? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah, we were using this when we were discussing Leviathan sheets last week because like if you attach the Terminator librarian to spawn Terminators, is the entire unit a psyker? I don't think so. I think it's just that model.
I don't know. So we do not know. Thousand Sons Cultists. I do love these guys because they're pawns of fate. They also scout. And you can get a CP when they die. Or if they kill something. But let's be honest, you're probably getting a CP when they die.
There you go. There's your CP generator. Is your
murdering cultists.
Please kill my 10 dudes.
Now,
please kill them.
I love the Weave of Fate ability for this Thousand Sons Demon Prince. This is so good. Once per battle, at the start of your phase, any phase, you select one friendly Rubrics or Terminators unit within 6 inches of this model. Till the end of the phase, weapons equipped by models need you to have precision. I mean, that's a legit rule, man. Whew.
And I think we still got a few more to go, but Thousand Sons look really, really strong.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Anti-X is a critical wound in the rune roll. I don't think anybody said it was auto wound, but whatever. Lethal hits is auto 6s to hit or auto wounds.
Yeah.
Anti is whatever the number is critical wound on that. So Demon Prince with wings, same thing. Zangor Enlightened, baby. Riding the wave. These guys are all right. What I want, Zangor Shaman. I love that he gives a Fetal Pain to the Unity joins. Gives you a Cabal point. And then you got my boys, the Zangors.
And they don't have a 3-up inbound save.
That makes me sad.
These guys have to be cheap as chips.
Yes. Also, you get a 4-up, you get a Cabal point if you have these dudes on objectives. They have a shit ton of attacks. So, yes.
They look strong. They're legit.
I
mean, so you're talking about using your Twist of Fate. How are you going to utilize Twist of Fate with what you've been shown in the index, right? Like
Flamers and things like Zangors. This is a good strength, you know what I mean? So these guys all come equipped with Zangor blades. So decent amount of attacks, strength 5, peeling guys. It's all good. So Thousand Sons seem legit. They got some decent combos. What time is it?
It is 1:45.
I guess we could speed run through Death Guard.
You could do World Eaters quickly.
Fine. World Eaters.
You're good. If you go over Death Guard, you'll be disappointed.
Well, I'll save Death Guard for the morrow, then. We've seen most of the stuff for World Eaters, to be honest with you. Angron was already released. He's legit. Nothing changed on him since they revealed him in the initial. He puts the beats on people. Karn the Betrayer. I love the fact that he doesn't betray as bad anymore. I love if you fail your leadership test, he just kills somebody on the charge. So 8 attacks, 3 damage apiece. If he's leading a unit, reroll hit roll of 1 and a reroll 1. And he also can basically fight on death for free. Lord Avocado, now Scout 6. So it looks like he also moves 2 units plus his unit because he gives his unit Scout at that point in time. Death Guard got the Space Wolves treatment. I just don't have enough time, brothers. I love it. Michael goes, I can summarize Death Guard real quick. Wow, that sucks.
I think Death Guard are going to be okay. It's just going to be Plague Marine builds.
Don't you lie to people.
I think they're fine. They're still really durable.
Lord Avocado's still legit. Scout 6, not as good as what he did, but still pretty legit.
He lost Fly.
Yeah. The fact that the Demon Prince, again, is giving out 6 inches of 4-up invuln save of everybody is legit. You know what I mean? So the fact that his Hellforged weapons have devastating wounds, legit when he charges. I like this dude a lot. So scroll down. Lord on Juggernaut.
Brad, just so you know, the winged ones are different than the ones on foot.
Yeah, but the one on foot had better cool rules.
Yeah, the winged one doesn't have
It doesn't have
which
devastating rules.
sucks.
I do like the World Leader on Juggernaut because he can reroll just tons of shit, the Blood Surge rolls and everything else, and he just join basically everybody because these are all of the units. You're like, yeah, he joins 3 things, which are all units in this codex. So he's legit. Master of Executions, legit. Fights first, always going to be legit here. Fights first is so big in a game now where we don't have fights last. So Zerkers seem fine. We already showed them. Blood Surge is still really good. The Jackals are slightly worse than they were before because you don't have the guy with the double attacks on him. So one idiot can't kind of make up all of it. They do still have to do with the Skull Smasher. He just gets 4 attacks instead of 8 attacks, which is current. So I do like these dudes quite a bit. We'll see the points on them. It's going to depend on the points. Take a shot.
They're also sticky.
I was just saying they're also sticky. Terminator Squad, legit. I don't like the fact that you have to below starting strength stuff, but combat weapons are good. They have a ton of attacks, whether twin linked. Now let's get to 8 bound. Whew. That's a lot of attacks. Depending on what you choose, of course. You're either choosing the big damage on the Lacerators. I think the 8 bound Eviscerators are probably the best of both worlds with 2 damage and 6 attacks. AP 2, strength 5. So reroll wounds if you're attacking things below half strength or below starting strength. The Exalted 8 bound, that Chain Fist is no longer screwing around. It's strength 14. Fights first Zerks, yes. Yeah, I like fights first is going to be a big mechanic. 100%.
8 Exalted still lock people into combat.
Yep.
Oh, and you can have. They went up. You could have.
Yeah, I was
2 to 5.
about to say that. That's why I was pulling down to here. One of the biggest things is you can have a 6-man unit now.
Damn.
Yeah, I think that's big. Exalted 8 bound actually have the better stats and on the weapons and the more attacks. So I would like to have bigger squads. These that was always my complaint is right now you can only take 3s.
Do they move faster now?
No, they move the same. Unfortunately, they move 9. That is a good point on that.
I thought they moved 8 before.
No, this is a big deal on this because Jackals and Exalted have Fatal Pain, so the Blessing buff it takes them to a 5++ on the Fatal Pain. That's really big. So that is super huge on that. So these guys are going to be badass. I'm taking an automatic max units of Exalted 8 bound.
And you can Lord Avocado move them because they're infantry now.
Correct. So these guys are moving 6 with Lord Avocado, and then they're moving 9, and they're shaking and baking. I like this. I like them a lot. Like these guys got a big buff with the new table and being able to be moved because there's no more core. Yeah, I mean this is big. What, easier Fatal Pain than Death Guard? Exactly. The rest of the stuff is the things we saw before: the Annihilator, the Land Raider, the Destructor, and I think there was one other thing. Nope. I thought there was one other data sheet that was World Leader only. Nope. I think no GNUs is good GNUs.
No, it's all stuff we've covered already.
Yep. So, what's your guys' thoughts to end us up here?
I think World Leaders look strong too. They're straightforward. They're going to do what they do.
I mean, I think that buff to the Exalted is a huge deal. Bigger squads, being able to be buffed, being able to be pregame moved, huge.
So is there any hope for Death Guard?
I didn't go through
upset about Death Guard.
I didn't go through it. We will hit it tomorrow, and we'll start with Death Guard tomorrow, and then we'll go into the Imperium stuff.
Brad, are you ready to be on for like 4 hours?
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of stuff going on, so we're gonna start at noon tomorrow. I'll put the event up as soon as we're done. It's a lie. I'm gonna coach in like 5 minutes. But we will try to get that event up. We're gonna go at 12. We're gonna rock through these. I'm gonna go over. My initial feelings of this. Obviously, to be fair, points. It's gonna depend on the points. Take a shot.
Got
I'm
this.
taking a shot of water, but Demons seem significantly the best. World Eaters and Thousand Suns, I think they're equal in power, but I think they're wildly different in playstyle, obviously. But I think that they were very, very good. I thought the Knights were really good. 3 of those Knights just seem buck wild good with the damage that they can put out and the speed. Carnivore felt good. The last big boy seemed nuts. So I thought that the Knights felt really, really good. CSM kind of felt like getting a turd in a box for my birthday. They just didn't have any jam, man. Maybe someone will find some combos and do it for me, but like, they didn't seem terrible. They just didn't. I don't know. They just didn't have any pizzazz. You know what I mean?
They're not bad. Like nothing in there is bad.
No, there was nothing.
It's just okay. Like it's resounding mediocre.
Nothing jumped out at me. Every time we did the Demons, just felt like we found a ton of stuff. The Knights felt like, bam, there was a ton of really good units that we could utilize right away. Thousand Suns and World Eaters felt like, man, I could do this. Exalted, I could do this. Twist of Fate, different combos and different exciting things you could do. CSM was like Eeyore. Oh God, maybe we could win the game.
What if they're aggressively undercosted and then they pull up
100%, brother.
They pull up on the crap because they're just like super cheap and you've got a billion of them.
I love it. Like a white family getting together. Land. There was no spices there.
It is the mayonnaise of the.
If they're aggressively undercosted, I mean, they could wreck. Which again, we have to go to points, and I hate saying that, but like we just do.
Take a drink, Brandon.
But I don't know, man. I'm glad we didn't end with them. Oof.
So what are your top 3? So we've seen Space Marines, all the Space Marines, all the Chaos.
Man, it's hard to do. It's gonna go. The thing is that the Demons if they're pointed aggressively, they were really good. I felt like some of that stuff for Demons I felt really strong. The World Eaters, if like Exalted are cheap, that's gonna be nuts.
My concern with World Eaters is the fact that there is a lot of anti-infantry mortal wounds.
Yeah.
As we've seen. And they don't really have a good way to deal with tanks. And I think we're going to be shifting to tanks, as Steven said.
Abby and 4++ Cultist is something I liked, actually. Him giving out Invul. That is true. Maybe you just see that, to be honest with you. I played that army. Just Cultist spam. Deathwatch, Demons, Knights, current top 3. I could get behind that, to be honest with you. Deathwatch was really good. Demons were really good. It's hard for me not to put some of the Marines over top of the Knights, though.
I think Dark Angels are better than Knights.
Dark Angels felt very, very good. That's going to be very point dependent, though, because I think they actually have the ability for a Death Star. That Dark Angels command squad seemed just crazy good. So I think that you're going to have some strong. We've had a lot of really good stuff. To be honest, I like what we're seeing as far as the fact. I know there's too many devastating wounds. I know I'm looking forward to them. I'm looking into them because I think it's the great answer. But I think that they're going to get nerfed in the first couple months, and then it's going to go down to what actually has better stat lines. So I think that armies like Dark Angels are going to weather that. I think that armies like Demons are going to weather that. So I don't think they're really going to be touched. So people that are trying to ride the one-trick pony of a billion devastating wounds are going to get hit pretty hard. And armies that aren't are going to just continue to do well. Write that down. So I like it. What about you? What are you guys going on? I kind of stole the show on that one. Kyle, what's your thoughts? Then we'll give Brandon.
I mean, I'm going to put Demons first just because that's my jam. I'm thinking Demons, Thousand Suns, Demon, Space Marines, Thousand Suns is what I'm going to rank the top 3 currently.
Just all Space Marines, just every chapter.
Just everything in Space Marines seems really good.
Cool. I'm gonna go with anybody that has a plastic model.
Foil
Okay,
again,
fine.
because I have metal models.
Oh. What are your thoughts now that Kyle has said every single Imperium faction? Yeah.
So Chaos Knights is heavily dependent on the train, right? We don't know what the go-to tournament train is going to look like. Because if you guys notice, if you watch the battle reports that they did at Kansas City, it's a different layout than what they've been doing 9th edition, which has a whole bunch of smaller pieces. And if it's nothing but small pieces, Knights are going to be stupid. Like, they're just going to be really dumb to deal with.
Especially with that speed, man.
Yeah, and the fact they can move through trains, so they're not blocked like they have been historically.
Right.
And with the towering keyword, you don't have to worry about fitting your entire knight on the base in order to shoot over the wall and all that stuff. Like, that just went out the window. No one cares about that anymore. So knights are train dependent. I feel like, depending on the meta, I don't think World Eaters is one of the top 3s just because they really don't have the anti-tank. And people are going to be moving towards Impulsors and Gladiator Reapers and everything. Like, what do you do?
Well, they have the anti-tank, 100%.
No, they don't.
They have Chain Fist. That's all you need.
If they get there.
Fire that fist up, bro. All right.
I just don't think they're getting there.
Tomorrow, everyone, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, we will pick up Death Guard. We will pick up the rest of the Imperium. And until then, thanks for hanging out.
Brandon's going to try to paint a whole bunch of terrain.
We will grab people, we will do stuff, and we are out of here.